How was your experience with an undefined G? Well, I would love to tell you. If you too have an undefined G, pay attention because this took me years to figure out, okay? And it's not really in any human design book. It's just something that I figured out on my own. And I'm not passing this off as like this works for everybody with an undefined G. But if you do happen to have the undefined G, give this a shot and see how it works for you. Now, I will be the first to call myself out and say that I am guilty of asking the question, who are you? Right? However, I do my best to put it in context in terms of like, how do you operate best? What things are most natural to you? What things are unnatural to you? What gifts do you have? What gaps that are inconsistent in your chart? You get the idea. Like, I'm not necessarily putting this huge emphasis on like answering the question, who are you? Although I do ask it. Now, my experience with the undefined G has been this massive experience of surrender. Like, I'll spend 5 years working and building a brand and doing something, and then within the matter of like weeks, sometimes even days, I'll completely abandon that thing and start forging a brand new identity. That identity typically comes as a result of something in my external reality, not necessarily like me being like, oh, I'm not identified with this anymore. It's more like there's no space here anymore for me. I'm not necessarily satisfied here, and the people here aren't satisfied, so that's probably why I'm not satisfied. It's some kind of like something that's going on within and without that is causing me to be like, yeah, fuck this. I'm just going to move on to the next thing. Even in this current stage, I've been going hard on the human design train for like a year and a half. Prior to that, I was traveling around a bunch. I was playing music. I was hosting retreats. Still kind of host retreats, but I don't travel around as much, go to festivals as much, any of that stuff. I got a baby now. In short, my identity is designed to change. And so because of that, I stopped asking that question, who am I? Who am I? Who am I? Especially as a reflector, I'm actually more concerned with who you are, especially if you're around me a lot. Like, do you follow your strategy and authority? Do you understand how to keep other people's energy out of your field when it's unwanted? Do you understand how to pick up other people's energy when you want to experience that openness? And so I took a one size fits all question, who are you? And I just stopped asking myself that question because every time I would like figure out who the fuck I was, it would change within like a matter of months or weeks. Basically, I let go of that question, who am I? I don't really care. And even if I did care, it wouldn't necessarily help me because, again, I've tried to answer that question so many times and I've come up with a lot of great answers. But then I've had to answer it again. And so I guess maybe instead of giving up on that question, I've given up on there being a finite answer. Hopefully that helps if you have an undefined G. And this really is just like a fancy spiritual way of saying like who I am is always evolving, my identity, my sense of direction, my where I resource love from, that's always evolving and it's always deepening. And it's not as though like the people or the person that I was is invalid, so much as that it's like it's a depth that I think is the deepest only because I haven't gone any deeper. Thank you for the question. I would love to know for anybody with an undefined G if this resonates for you, if this concept around dropping that question or at least dropping the need to answer that question, who am I, is helpful for you. Let me know in the comments. I'm genuinely curious.